Hi friends. So this is our second lecture on the wasteland. The epigraph. What is an epigraph? A short quotation placed before a literary work. That is epigraph. That's very simple. Now what is this epigraph? Epigraph is in Latin and Greek. Both Greek and Latin, they are phonetic languages. Phonetic means you write and read in the same way, like Malayalam. You write Kotayam, then Kotayam you read. Keralam, you say Keralam, like that. So, but English is unphonetic language. Unphonetic means you write in one way and read in another way. Lieutenant, colonel, knife and so on. Okay. So, I will read out the epigraph first and see. You pronounce as it is written. So, Nam Sibylam quidam cumis ego ipse oculis meis vidi in ambula pendere et cum illi puvedi dicerent zibula zi telis respondebat illa appo teneim telu. So that is the epigraph, Latin and Greek. Let's see what is the meaning. Most of these words you will find in English also. For example, vidi, to see, video, vision. So many English words are vidi. Then meis, mine, my oculus means eyes. You have got binocular. Oculist, English words. Ipse means myself, himself. It's a reflexive pronoun. Ego means I. Egoistic is an egoism. Self another. Cumis, that is Cumae, as a Greek colony in Italy. Cumae. From there you have got to Cumae. Quidam, the same. Sibylam, Sibyl, Nam, indeed, Nam. We don't have any English word from that. In ambula. Ambula means an inflated balloon-like thing. Ambula. So that is a jar. Here we say it is jar. Anything that has a shape like an inflated balloon is an ambula. So it's jar. Pendere. Pendere means hanging. Pendant. They have got pendant and sometimes pendant at the end of a chain you will find. You got suspend, depends. All comes from this word, depend. Et means and. You are famous, no? Et cum brute. In Julius Caesar and you too Brutus. Et cetera. Etc. we say, no? And the rest that mean. etc. Et cetera. Means etc. We pronounce it like that. Illi means the form, it has got different forms according to the gender. Illi, illa, like that. Then pueri means boyish. Puerile, you have got an English word like it. Puerile means boyish. So pueri, plural, dicerent means say. Dictate, dictate. Dicerent, that word. To say, that's the meaning, dicerent. From that you have got English word dictate, declare, all those things. And then respondebat. This one I will come a little later. First we will have the Latin words. Respondebat, response. Responded. Illa means the same person. So that is Latin. So what is the meaning of that? That is, now indeed I saw with my own eyes. Do you see? That is a Sibylam is accusative case. Those things I suppose you know. Indeed, I saw with mine own eyes. Who? Sibyl of Cumae. The same Sibyl. The same Sibyl. In hanging, pendere means hanging. Hanging in a jar, and when those boys asked or said, what did they say? Sibyl, see the lace. So most of, I think the B, E, La, Lambda, A, then C, T and C. T means what? Te, theta. We have in mathematics these things. Te, A, lambda, A, E, and theles. So Zibullah, T, theles. So what do you want? What do you want? C means what? Tele means wish. What is your wish? What is in your mind? Sibyl asking. So the boys saw the Sibyl of Cumae hanging in a jar, and then hanging means the size has become so small, shrunk and shriveled, as big as this may be, as small as this may be, this pen, so small, a human being. Now, responded illa means responded illa means she. No. Here it is illi, puvedi, because this adjective, this agrees with puvedi, but here it is feminine, so responded illa, she. What it says? Appo. Appo means away. Away, tanein. Tanein means stas is standing. I want to move away from where I stand. That means I want to die. I want to die. Now where am I? I am in a jar. I am so shrunken, and I don't want to live anymore. Death in life. The main message of, the theme of the wasteland. Death in life. People don't want to live. They have no desire. They have lost everything. They have lost their culture. They have lost their ability to make decisions. So that is dying, a dying civilization. So here it is, apothenein. This is N. Num. So apothenein. Apothenein means, here is we have got an English word from this, apostasy. Apostasy. Apostasy means changing your religion, moving away from your religion. He is an apostate, means a person who has left the religion. So I want to leave the world, that is what she says. Apothenein telo. Telo, this is omega, this is lambda, this is A, this is theta. Telo. That is means I want, that is my wish. So that is what, this is the epigraph. So once again, Sibylla, Sitales. Sibylla, what do you want? Where is Sibylla? Sibylla is in glass jar hanging. So small, shriveled. And then response. Apothenein telo. Apothenein telo, I want to die. I want to go away. I want to get out of this world, but I am unable to do. Why? That is the point. The point is, this Sibylla is a prophetess or a priestess or a prophetess of Apollo, God Apollo. Apollo's oracle. So you can say those people, they used to have oracles in Greek and Roman mythologies, you will find. So she was comparatively very beautiful and so on. And then Apollo, he wanted, he said, you ask any boon or any gift from me in the exchange of your virginity, sexual favors. And then she immediately picked up a handful of sand. That time she was very young and very beautiful, and said, I want to live as many years as there are grains of sand in my hand. I want to live, that is my, the boon I want. The boon that you should give me is this. The boon that I am going to ask is this. She picked up a handful of sand and said, I want to live as many years as there are grains of sand in my hands. That means about 1,000 years plus. He immediately granted that. But what happened? Sibylla refused to show any sexual favors towards Apollo. Then, once the boon is given, you cannot take back. Gods also have that limitation. So what happened then? He thought, and another point, one more point is there. She asked for immortality, so to say, or 1,000 years of life. But she forgot to ask for eternal youth. She asked for eternal life, but she forgot to ask for eternal youth. And again, what happened is that, as I have already told you, she was not willing to show any sexual favors towards God Apollo. So Apollo thought, if she has done such a thing, then let her live here. Let her live here long, long years and age as per natural laws. Let her get herself old, or become old according to the natural laws. What is the result? The result is she became old and old and old. 3 old will do anything now. And she became shrunk and shriveled, small, and she could be kept in a jar, a small glass jar, and she was hung on the ceiling of a temple, an ancient Roman temple. And these boys saw that. Then they asked her, Sibylla, what do you want? And Sibylla said, I somehow want to die. But I will not die, because I received that boon from God Apollo, and the other things I have already told you. As a result of that, God Apollo wishes that I should live and become old. It is said that, as a myth, it is said that she at last became only a voice. Her physical shape disappeared and became just a voice. Maybe still she may be there in that jar, but only voice. Understand? Now, all this, what is the source for T.S. Eliot? From which source he got it? Got it from a novel, a Roman novel called the Satyricon, written by Petronius. And in that novel, there is a character called the Trimalchio. And this Trimalchio is, the novel is actually narrated by Encolpius, narrates in first person. The way the novel is written is Encolpius, he narrates in first person, that means I, using I. And in that novel, it's a novel not as you have got the present day novel, not continuity or anything like that. Part is prose, part is poetry, and then it is also episodic. There are some episodes there, some episodes here, but there is no connection between those episodes. It is said that it's like Menippean satire. You might have come across as Menippean satire in connection with when you were reading Chaucer. That is monastic satire, Menippean satire, and so on. That way, that is Satyricon, means satire. Now, in that novel, the novel is narrated by Encolpius in the first person. It's a Roman novel, not like the novel that you expect in these days, episodic novel. And the title of that is Satyricon. It is written by Petronius, and there is a character Trimalchio. And what is the immediate context? Trimalchio is a wanderer, a vagabond, but very, very rich, extremely rich. So he was giving a lavish, grotesque, drunken scene in a banquet hosted by Trimalchio. So Trimalchio is a character, he's a wanderer, he's a vagabond, but extremely rich. At least he is pretending that he is rich, and an extravagant dinner was hosted. And in that dinner, Trimalchio is boasting. He's a wanderer. Trimalchio says, it is a story within a story, or a meta story. The Sibylla story is a story, the main story is the Satyricon. And within that, you have got a story, that is Sibylla story. And in that, Trimalchio, that wanderer who is hosting this lavish dinner for his friends and so on, he is drunk. He is already drunk. Then he is boasting to the guests there in the banquet, participating in the banquet, sharing the banquet. He is boasting that I saw with my own eyes the Sibyl of Cumae hanging in a glass jar, Latin. And when some boys were there, the boys asked her, "What do you want?" Then she answered, "I want to die." Death wish. But there is no scope of any regeneration. There is no scope of restoring the prestige, the glory of her youth. Absolutely no hope. Because she is aging and aging. 3 aging will do everything, isn't it? And thus she has become shrunk and she is kept. And then he says, so it is Trimalchio's, these words are spoken by Trimalchio. And Trimalchio, as I told you, is a vagabond, a drunkard, and also a wanderer. He pretends to be all these things you will find in the wasteland also, no? There's all values lost, culture lost, fall of Rome. So it's about that. So this Trimalchio is a character who represents the fall of Rome and Roman civilization, the rise and fall of the Rome. About that we have heard of that, no? Yes. And then here what happened is this, and he is boasting that I saw, that is ego. I saw myself with my own eyes, Vidi, Sibyl in Ambla Pendere, in hanging in a glass jar. And when the children asked, boys asked, Sibylla, responded but illa, she replied, Apotani means to die. Go away from here, Telo, I wish. And this is the background. Understand? So you have got the Engolf is narrating the story. It is an episodic novel. A character Trimalchio, drunken, wasting his life, going around, wanderer, vagabond. He is hosting a lavish and excessive. Lavish life and excessive life led to the fall of Rome. So he represents that. He symbolically, Trimalchio is a representative of those days when those days when the Romans were leading very lavish and very luxurious life. At the end of that, Rome fell. The civilizations disappeared from the face of this earth. That we know already. All those things are known to us. Then what happened is that in that banquet scene, Trimalchio was drunk, and he is boasting that I saw with my own eyes the Sibyl. Sibyl means prophetess, I told you, already hanging in a jar, and the students, the children, they looked up and saw this. They asked the Sibyl, what do you want? Then she said that I want to die. Apotane telo. Apotane means move away. Apo means away, that's the meaning, away. So tane means that is moving away from where I stand. That means where I stand is in this dying posture in this glass jar, and I want to die. But she could not, because of that boon received from Apollo, God Apollo, where she forgot to ask for. She asked for immortality, but she forgot to ask for eternal youth. And as I told you, the agreement was violated by Sibyl. As a result of that, Apollo thought that, okay, I cannot take back this boon, but let her age in a natural way. And this is what happened. Very old, and now it is said that what remains is only voice. Now, the the epigraph sets the tone, the ambience, the background of this great masterpiece written by T.S. Eliot, the grimmest opening in literature. This one, the grimmest opening in literature, is a foundational to the poem. Why foundational? The main theme is death wish, but unable, they cannot fulfill that. They cannot die, but they are a dying people. London Bridge is falling down, isn't it? Yes. And then you have got to set the emotional and philosophical tone of the poem. That's the importance as far as this is concerned. The episode of the Cumaean Sibyl, a priestess and a prophetess of Cumae. Cumae is a Greek colony in Italy. This episode is within the novel satirical. So that's why it's called a Sibyl episode is a meta story, or what is called a story inside another story. Just you see the players in Hamlet, there's meta theatre vision. Hamlet players come to perform a play, and that is what we call a play within a play is meta theatre. So also here in this way, a story within a story is meta story, and that is Sibylla's story. I think it is clear. The tone of the poem, the background of the poem, the ambience of the poem, and what is going to philosophically, what is it all about? It's all about inability of the denizens of the wastelands to restore their life, come back to their original glory. The same thing is happening here also. You are helpless, so this. Understand? Helpless. That's why the opening line, April is the coolest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land. Everything is dead. April is a glorious month. In the case of Canterbury Tales, prologue to Canterbury opens like this. One that April with its showers sweet. When that April with its showers sweet. But here he says just the opposite of that. What is that? April is the coolest. April is not the coolest month, but the denizens, the citizens of, for the citizens of the wasteland, April is the coolest month. Because they are unable to. Say for example, you have got everything in life, but if you are under anesthesia in a hospital, you are a very rich man, you can do anything, you can go anywhere you like, you are supported by people, but you are under anesthesia in a hospital bed, then whatever, all these things appear to be very cruelty. Like that, April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land. So that is these the points. Grimmest opening in literature, foundational to the poem, sets the emotional and philosophical tone of the poem. Okay, see you. Bye.